research and find out for themselves what's going on, they will be taken out of their bodies. Our system is no longer a system that is about curing. It isn't.
And you know what also was profound, Doctor? That billions of dollars and all the success, there were not subconscious programs, even in Steve Jobs, that gave him the faith to go forward with all of these remedies that have been working for thousands of years. And it doesn't matter how credible somebody is, how much power and fame and money, it doesn't make for receptivity.
No, it doesn't. And sometimes people are totally unreceptive on that level, because if they have the same, we all got the same programming.
Right.
Doctors are God. You know, the Western medical profession knows everything about everything. All I can tell you is not true. One of the oldest medical systems in the world is Ayurvedic medicine. And like we have two different kinds of diabetes that they've discovered here. They have 36. 36 different kinds of diabetes they've been able to not only discover but treat. The reason why I am so happy and I work with an Ayurvedic master is because with all the poverty and all that goes on in India, those people do not have the privileges, the food, nothing that we have. But they don't have any of the issues that we have. They don't have rampant cancer, any of that. And it's because of the Ayurvedic medicine there and the Ayurvedic doctors. That's what's practiced, even though they have Western medicine, if you want it in their hospitals, they have in the Ayurvedic. Western medicine is rarely, if ever, used because our system is a very young system, and it's a chemical system, and it's not. It's not. They're still learning, and they're actually not learning. What they're doing is they've just accepted that what they do is what they do, and that's what they're going to do, and whether you like it or not, this is all, and will prevent people from trying other systems if they can. But they know that other systems work. I was talking to a host about a year and a half ago, and he called me after the show was over. He called his uncle, who was one of the professors at one of the top medical schools in the Washington, D.C. area. And he said, he just asked his uncle, what do you know about the lymphatic system? And he came straight out and said, well, I have to confess we don't know much about it. If you don't understand your lymphatic system, there's no way to fully stay healthy because it's involved with your thinking, with your feeling, with your actions, not just with your food and all of that. So every time you get upset, you put a block in your lymph system that prevents oxygen from getting to your cells. So essentially, we are beings that thrive in happiness and accord. We don't thrive under discord. And so what we look at matters too. So people are watching the news and they're looking at all these negative things. That's affecting you. That's putting blockages in the lymphatic system. If you look at something and you are reacting to it, and it's, say, somebody getting blown up or shot or whatever, you actually have affected your lymphatic system. You've put a block there because anything that you react to that is of a discord to you will create a block.
You're also referring kind of to the quantum realm, right? This is where what you're talking about.
Well, remember, our lymphatic system is electromagnetic. It's our energy body. Our energy body is connected to our essence all the way into our physical being. So at every moment, some part of your system is being affected by your lymph, by your actions, your thoughts, and your feelings, and what we do. And so in order to have an understanding of that, and to have an understanding of why it happens, when it happens, and how you can prevent it, you can keep yourself healthy and you can keep your children or your loved ones healthy. But it requires education. And so I wrote the book because I couldn't keep saying the same thing over and over to everybody, and I couldn't reach enough people who were searching for answers to why people get sick, why all this. Well, it's all lymphatic. Every disease known to man is caused by blockages in the lymphatic system. It all starts on the cellular level. Everything in our body is made up of cells, and the lymph system's job is to remove the cellular debris and to bring the oxygen into the cellular environment so that the cells can thrive. Anything that will prevent that process will create pain, suffering, disease, and eventual death if we can't address it.
Can we talk a little bit about breathing? Because I did a breathing show 2 years ago that I was so excited about, and I noticed that you also talked about breathing, and you talked about a Russian doctor, Dr. Mark Occupants. Would you talk about the connection to breathing and your work with him and your experience of him and what you got out of the whole thing? I thought that was fascinating.
Oh, he was a fascinating man. He was 5'3", and he was the head doctor for the Kremlin from Khrushchev to Gorbachev, and he was the greatest doctor of bioenergy to come out of the University of Moscow. You know, the Russian system of education is a little different than ours. You get trained based on what your propensities are for. So obviously he already had some talents in the areas of healing and all that, but how that occurred is a fascinating story unto itself. But I met Dr. Mark Occupants, and he had us come into a room, and it was dark. And he walked around you, and then he would go to a chart of the back of the body and the front of the body, and he would point to it, because when I met him, he had only been here a couple of months, and he hadn't learned to speak English yet, and that was 1999.
Wow.
And he had X-ray eyes, so he could see everything in the body. Then once he would point, then through the interpreter, he would say, "This is what I'm going to work on," and so he would lay you down on the table and just touch you, and then whatever was going on was gone. Well, of course, we're all fascinated when that happens, and so I went to him, and once after I met him, I was thinking, gee, my clients would love this man. So I asked him to come down to Del Mar. That's where I was. They had my practice at the time, and he did, and he taught me a lot about breathing. Everything is in the breath. The power is in the breath. Our life force is in the breath. Everything is in the breath. So he taught me these 10 different breathing exercises, and there's one in particular that I give everyone. And just from the breathing alone, some people have been cured just from breathing, or, because of the oxygen content became so great that their bodies were able to turn themselves around. So breathing is really, really important. And the way that breathing exercise is similar to a yoga breathing. It's like you breathe in real hard